Welcome to everything Elon Musk said today, where I go through his posts over the last 24 hours. Generate charts with Grok. Grok can now generate charts. Currently works in browser and will come to more platforms in the coming days. I have been watching this future for a while. And then Elon responded with a heart to a video that was shared by Tesla. Being born with no hands. FSD is a life changer. Thank you.
I love driving my Cybertruck. I think it's very therapeutic and relaxing, especially the steer-by-wire and the four-wheel turning, and just the steering in general helps me, really enhances my driving experience, me being born with no hands. But sometimes when my arms get tired and I don't want to drive, I just let FSD take over, and it is the best thing ever. Like, I love it. Long road trips, no problem.
Really cool video. Now let's see what this is. Alright. This is exactly the reason I'll never shut up about the fact that boys will never be girls. Under any circumstances, never. Not in a million years, no. If you want to cut your body up and take hormones when you're an adult, fine. But leave the babies alone. Trans toddlers allowed gender treatment on National Health Service. Under 7s to be seen by clinics as Health Service caves in to activists on age limits. And Elon agrees with Stephanie that this is ridiculous. A Western European government, guess which, approached Telegram asking us to silence conservative voices in Romania ahead of today's presidential elections. I flatly refused. Telegram will not restrict the freedom of Romanian users or block their political channels. You can't defend democracy by destroying democracy. You can't fight election interference by interfering with elections. You either have freedom of speech and fair elections or you don't. And the Romanian people deserve both. Hear, hear, says Elon. So I'm assuming by the baguette emoji that Pavel is referring to France, who pressured Telegram to censor conservative voices in Romania before the election. Now, Elon quoted this video of China's first aerial mothership, so let's check this out. It can cruise at 15,000 meters high, carrying over 100 small drones or 1,000 kilograms of missiles, with a range of 7,000 kilometers. And Elon says that range is impressive. And Elon Musk's mom, May Musk, was sorting through old photos and came across computer aptitude test results of Elon Musk at the age of 17. My genius boy. To whom it may concern, Elon Musk computer aptitude test. I have requested ISM to conduct aptitude tests on Elon Musk regarding computer programming, etc. The results were outstanding. A+ in operating and A+ in programming. Elon said, they said I scored the highest for engineering aptitude they had ever seen. Or in other words, not bad for a human, as a future AI might say. Oh wow, tasks are coming to Grok. You'll be able to schedule a task and Grok will do it for you automatically. For instance, you can ask Grok to send you your very own customized news digest every week. Just Grok it. Another suggested template is a daily productivity boost. Suggest 3 actionable productivity tips for the day. Your next run is at 9 a.m. Hillary Clinton complains that Elon Musk and JD Vance are encouraging Americans to have children. One of the reasons why our economy did so much better was because we had a lot of immigrants, legally and undocumented, who had a larger than normal family. Why does she hate Americans? Let's check this out.
As I posted the other day, this very blatant effort to basically send a message, most exemplified by Vance and Musk and others, that, what we really need from you women are more children. And what that really means is you should go back to doing what you were born to do, which is to produce more children. And they are talking about, cash benefits for the more children you have. This has been tried, by the way, in other countries, and it has not worked. Or medals if you have 6 children, while they're contemplating cutting Medicaid, while they have no interest in paid family leave or funding quality child care. They're cutting Head Start. I mean, you go down the list of all the programs that support child rearing and the care of children and create, some safety net for women who are in the workforce, the formal workforce, as well as, raising children. So this is another performance about concerns they allegedly have for family life. But if you had read the Heritage Foundation's Project 2025, despite Trump saying he knew nothing about it, if you had read it, it's all in there. It's all in there. Return to the family, the nuclear family, return to being a Christian nation, return to, producing a lot of children, which is sort of odd because the people who produce the most children in our country are immigrants, and they want to deport them. So none of this adds up. But one of the reasons why our economy did so much better than comparable advanced economies across the world is because we actually had a replenishment, because we had a lot of immigrants, legally and undocumented, who had a larger than normal, by American standards, family. So this is just another one of their, make America great again by returning to the lifestyles and the economic arrangements of not just the 1950s. I mean, let's keep going back as far as we can and, see what happens.
So Elon asks, why does she hate Americans? In other words, why does she prefer to import immigrants than reproduce? Now, Elon quoted Chamath, and Chamath said over the past 100 years, the number of banks have gone from 28,000 to 4,500. The number of public companies in the US peaked at 8,000 and has since shrunk to 6,000. Meanwhile, the amount of regulation and regulatory agencies have exploded. Regulation at the limit strangles entrepreneurs, smaller businesses, and public companies in favor of consolidators, large roll-ups, and administrators. We need a regulatory reset. And it looks like we peaked at 28,000 banks in the 1920s, falling to 4,135 by 2022. So Elon quoted this and said, yes, we do need a regulatory reset. Breaking, American First Legal just filed a judicial complaint against Judge John McConnell, the federal judge blocking Trump's spending freeze. He led a nonprofit set to gain millions from his ruling, a blatant conflict of interest and ethics violation. He must be investigated. Elon emphasized this. Jesse says 98 gigawatts of 2-hour batteries would let us power 98 gigawatts of new data centers. We have to build enough grid capacity to handle the highest demand on the hottest summer afternoon, but most of the time that capacity isn't being used. Batteries let us get way more value out of the infrastructure that we're already paying for. Elon says yes, provided the compute cluster is also willing to reduce power usage in high sigma situations. Jesse also says water's not necessary for cooling data centers. We use water to save energy. Even if we had to provide 100% of the water through desalination, it would still save energy. You don't need to use water at all. GPUs operate at around 80 degrees Celsius. Even in 40 degrees Celsius weather, the temperature difference between a GPU and air is greater than between the human body and ice. So from the perspective of a GPU, everywhere on Earth's surface is ice cold. You can build systems capable of directly cooling GPUs anywhere on the planet without using any water or even a heat pump. So using water saves energy. When water evaporates, it absorbs heat from the air. Cooler air means that a direct air cooling system saves energy by moving less air, and a heat pump saves energy by operating with a higher coefficient of performance. It takes way more energy to evaporate water than to desalinate it. And this is the math that proves it. Desalinating seawater is only 0.5% of the energy required if you were to evaporate water. And Microsoft uses an average of 0.3 liters per kilowatt hour across its fleet. And even if Microsoft had to provide 100% of that water via desalination, it would increase overall electricity use by just 0.09%. Evaporating water is an extremely energy efficient cooling method. We should actually be using a lot more water to cool things like our homes, and we should desalinate water when needed. Data centers can be set up in a way that stresses local water resources, but that's not a fundamental issue with data centers themselves. And Jesse says we would save electricity by desalinating water in California and using more water for cooling and humidification in the Southwest. He says desalination is so energy efficient that we could re-green the Sahara with it. Apparently the Sahara used to be green about 6,000 years ago. And Jan says most problems when you boil it down are energy problems, even freshwater availability. And Elon agrees. And Elon quoted this post from Robert Scoble saying the world will be very different in 10 years. What will humans be doing in 10 years? In a decade, most people will not be driving. What will we do instead? In a decade, most people will have robots in their businesses and probably their homes. In a decade, we will be using a ton of brain-computer interfaces to work and play. In a decade, AI will be making us all more productive and even happier. It will be reporting our news. It will be running our businesses. It will be helping us with our health. It will be helping us build. It will help us design new things, new products, new ideas, new lifestyles, and new experiences. The world will be very different in 10 years. Elon reposted that Starship Booster produces as much thrust as has 66 Boeing 747s. Now, Elon posted this video of Jensen Huang.
I would say the first use case will probably be in manufacturing. There's estimates tens, if not 100 million jobs that are workers the world is short of workers. And aging population, declining birth rates. And so I think the world needs a lot more workers. Robotics is one of the best ways for us to supplement all of that and help companies recover the lost revenues on the one hand and drive productivity, which reduces inflation for the world on the other hand. And so I think robotics is going to be very important to that. In different areas, you could have, they'll probably deploy into manufacturing first because they obviously need it most.
Which is a ginormous potential market, addressable market.
It's a $50 trillion industry that wants to grow. And
Oh, yeah. Does anyone know the only public company that allows you to get exposure to humanoid robotics? Elon also posted this video. Let's check it out.
Elon Musk does have a security clearance. He has a top secret security clearance. By God, he makes the rockets for NASA. But the suggestion that he somehow can't be trusted to dig into how we're spending our money is nothing but a smokescreen to hide the corruption and the wasteful spending that has occurred there. And I am personally offended at the left's continued references to 19-year-olds and 21-year-olds in there doing work. There are 19-year-olds who have won the Medal of Honor defending this country. Just because you're 19 doesn't mean you're some child who can't be trusted. It is offensive. And if you're 19 years old out there, 20 years old, and you're serving this country, by God, your service matters. Keep serving. We thank you for that.
Yeah, if World War III comes, let's leave the 19-year-old males at home. They can't be trusted, right? The world is running out of people, and it's worse than you think. Forget robots taking your jobs, soon there won't be enough humans left to do them anyway. Birth rates are crashing in rich countries like the US, Japan, and South Korea. In 40 years, the global population will start shrinking, not growing. And that's bad news for jobs, the economy, and anyone hoping to retire before age 90. By 2100, the world could lose up to 2 billion people. Fewer babies means fewer workers. Good luck keeping the lights on. Elon says true. Zoe Williams looks exactly like someone who would write an article about how getting fit will turn you into a right-wing jerk. Getting fit is great, but it could turn you into a right-wing jerk. By Zoe Williams. But Stephanie says, what actually turned me into a right-wing jerk? Open borders, men and women's sports and spaces, transgender kids, DEI over merit, Trump almost getting assassinated and mainstream media trying to tell me it didn't happen. And Elon says, yeah, Zoe Williams is pretty much the poster for the decline of Western civilization. Breaking. 6 remote schools in Fiji now have internet thanks to Starlink. Students can access global resources, join virtual lessons, and learn STEM from anywhere. And Elon reposted this. Very, very cool. Marco Rubio methodically schools CBS Margaret Brennan on South African refugees. Let's take a look at this.
South Africa's president is traveling to the United States this week to meet with President Trump. The administration has prioritized bringing some white South Africans, Afrikaners, to the United States despite the increased restrictions on refugees. President Trump claims there's a genocide underway in South Africa. That's a legal determination. The State Department would make it. Are you trying to determine that now?
I will determine that these people are having their properties taken from them. They can call it whatever they want, but these are people that on the basis of their race are having their properties taken away from them and their lives being threatened and in some cases killed. These are people that applied and made these claims in their applications and seek to come to the United States in search of refuge. We've often been lectured by people all over the place about how the United States needs to continue to be a beacon for those who are oppressed abroad. Well, here's an example where we're doing that. So I don't understand why people are criticizing it. I think people should be celebrating it, and I think people should be supporting it.
Well,
if in fact,
is there evidence of a genocide that you
they
have?
Are in favor. I think there's evidence absolutely that people have been murdered, that people have been forcibly removed from their properties, both by the government in some cases because of a law they passed, but also because of independent groups encouraged by political parties inside of South Africa. So listen, to move here from half a world away and leave behind the only homeland you've ever known, that's not something people do lightly, especially people who have spent generations farming their land and developing their property. That's not something that you take lightly and do. These people are doing it for a reason. So we welcome them to the United States, and I think there may be more coming soon.
We will stand by to see if that determination of genocide is made. I want to ask
That is a great point. We've often been lectured by people all over the place about how the United States needs to continue to be a beacon for those who are oppressed abroad. And here's an example where we're doing that, and where are all those people, and what are they saying now? And the left is upset because Trump is deporting illegal immigrants, but taking in a small number of white Afrikaners who are being oppressed in South Africa. And so they're saying he's a white supremacist for that. But let's wait for the South African president to meet with Trump later this week to get more information about what's really going on. And we've gotten to the top, no more posts from Mr. Maximus today, so I will see you guys tomorrow.